Friday, June 29th, 2007, CRC Chicago, live. Here we go. I started recording the album about a little over 2 years ago, you know, late 2006, early 2007. I kind of had to leave New York. I moved all the way out to Baltimore to go record, set up my studio as it were. New York was getting a little too distracting and a little too expensive, so I thought, you know what, get out of the city, go somewhere you can make all the noise you want to make for as long as you want to. So I went to Baltimore, and Baltimore was really interesting because it gave me a proper glimpse of inner city America. You know, to see it close up like that was really jarring at first, you know, see rows of abandoned buildings and the grime and everything else. Some of the songs on this record, and that 6/8 Afro, you know, that simple, that's logo type thing, Afro thing. The new album is a fusion of high life, Afrobeat, soul, jazz, gospel, and blues all fused together. I got to work with Rich Medina and DJ producer King Britt. You know, I went to their studios in Philadelphia, did some stuff with them. Working with those guys was so much fun, especially King Britt. You know, he brought something totally different to my music. You know, him coming from the electronica perspective, you know, me trying to fuse the African and the soul together. So, you know, we got some very, very interesting things done. It was real cool, man. We worked really, really fast. We did cut 2 songs, Room Full of Noise and Take Me Away. Room Full of Noise really is about the environment. You know, for the most part, I've always thought we've been talking about global warming and man's damage to the environment or to the planet for many years, and it's been largely ignored until recently. Of course, things have come to the forefront now. You know, the seasons are all over the place. We've had tsunamis and all kinds of disasters, so I just felt compelled to write something about that, you know.
I'm in a room full of noise and I just can't hear myself. Though I scream and shout, nobody seems to care.
I'm Bill Lee and I like to have fun with Siji, making the noise sound like music. Which is a pretty easy thing to do. Right?
That's right.
And it is a lot of fun and it is a lot of music.
I write from a rhythmic perspective. The words might come first or the music might come first, but whatever might be the case, I think in terms of rhythm, you know. So the cadences of my words have to be rhythmic. The new album was recorded in Logic Pro this time around. Logic being a very, very powerful music production software. A very good friend of mine, Bill Lee, got me started on Logic. And the first song we recorded was Ekundayo. Ekundayo means tears to joy. My tears have turned to joy. Basically, I'd written the song a few years, about 3 years ago. You know, so I'd kind of ironed out all the kinks, and I knew what I wanted the song to sound like. So it was easy for me to use that as a. It was the first song I recorded basically for the album. It was easy for me to just learn to use the software and the technology I had at my disposal. The learning process really also affected my songwriting, because obviously there were times when I'd record whole passages and I'll hit the wrong button and lose everything. And this time on the album, I've gotten to record a lot more in Yoruba as well. Some of the songs are written and sang entirely in Yoruba.
Cal Gaines, I played guitar. I'm not sure if I played bass on this thing. I know it was one time Siji asked me to do a bass part, but he probably had that changed. Dig the album. The album is crazy. Very, very organic album. It's kind of like taking some drums out to the woods and playing for nature. You know, it's hot, and Siji was able to document that very well. It's not a lot of times that people today are really documenting music organically in such a cool way that Siji's doing. He's bringing some new, fresh life and some old life, you know, to the music scene, which is really good for a young artist. He should do very well with this record. It's hot, blazing, fire, fish grease.
Perfect. Cool.
Walk with me, Lord. Guide me, please, Lord. With my soul abide. Set me free, Lord. Inspire me more. Lift me to the greatest heights.
Get me Tony Allen on drums. Fatai Rolling Dollar Williams on guitar. Ken Okulol on bass. Tony Benson on keyboards. Yeah, that'll be awesome. And Sonny Ade on guitar as well. Ainde Barrister on talking drums, or you know, just throw them all in one room and do like a Buena Vista type thing, Buena Vista Social Club type thing. You know, get all the great legendary Nigerian or African musicians together and just put everyone together and jam. When I think of Nigeria, I think certain smells come to mind. You know, smoked fish, you know, fried goat meat, or jollof rice. I miss all those things. You know, I had a great and very interesting childhood.
I'm yearning for home, home, home. My heart is filled with longing, home, home, for somewhere to belong.
There's been a reemergence or a renewed interest in the Nigerian music scene. You know, the economy is good, it's politically stable, so obviously there are a lot more people doing things back home in Nigeria, which is very interesting, you know, very encouraging, because for the most part I've always wanted to go back home to, you know, in some ways give back, or you know, some of all the things I've learned out in the West, you know, to go share with my fellow kinsmen back in Nigeria. sijimusic.com, shijimusic.com. I'll post up some songs there for fans to take a listen to, and you know, just let it do its thing. Really, at this point in time, there's no point hoarding music. Really, you just have to let it out there, and people will eventually find it.
I'm falling down, staying true to my calling. I'm going